Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are, whenever you are. Thank you for watching my videos. My name is Da Vinci Jeremy. I'm here today just doing a video, not about, the price action right now. Right now, we're just pretty much consolidating, so I'm not going to bother doing a price action video today. I'm going to be talking about basically how Bitcoin is being manipulated and why I think so, and why I believe that there's basically 100% chance of that's going on right now as we speak. Price of Bitcoin is being manipulated, but effectively this manipulation did not occur like all of a sudden, okay, you know what, I'm going to manipulate it now. Beep. No. No. This is not going on in a sense on a larger time scale, but on a shorter time scale, yes, it is probably going on right now, but not much of it's happening, right? Unless you're trading like on a 5-minute or low time frame, you're not going to notice it so much. But there is like times when on the lower time frames that you could see price manipulation just to get rid of some, to move the market a little bit, to wipe out the leverage long people or leverage short people who are over leveraged one way or the other. Now, that's not the manipulation that gives us a whole longer term picture. Now, regardless of whether or not there was manipulation, let's pretend that there was no manipulation in the market at all. It wouldn't mean that prices wouldn't be coming down. No, that's not what I'm saying. No, not at all, right? What I'm saying is that the prices won't come down as hard and fast, right? Unless it was like overly priced, superly overpriced. So Bitcoin could have gotten to that super overprice of 100,000, right? Or more, but then it would have been on its way back down anyways here as we speak at this time right now. And let's just pretend that was no manipulation at all in there, but there would always be some form of manipulation, no matter what, in the market. So where do you draw the line when you say manipulation? Well, how do you say, well, this level of manipulation is okay, but this one's not, right? That's a question, the philosophers are going to have to answer on in the future. Honestly, there will always be manipulation in every single market to some degree, but at the same time, not at the degree of, for example, someone who has unlimited amounts of money or unlimited access to a printing press or a government. I think that's probably where the line's drawn. When you're talking about banks and governments, that's illegal manipulation. And when you're talking about average person manipulating the price by, not using the banks and governments, but using other means, right, of getting people to believe in something that's not true in order to take the action that they want them to take, then you could say that's fair manipulation because people didn't have to take that action, right? Whilst the government's manipulation is more of like, them using their cash and their and a little bit of expertise to move the price in the direction that they want. Now, how do they do that? Well, let's start off, not just the cash, but also they use laws to help get the price where they want it to. So let's start off with that. Where is the first, how did this manipulation come in from government? Well, it's quite simple. The government first announced that Bitcoin was a commodity, right? And that in and of itself does nothing to manipulate the price. But what did manipulate the price in a negative direction, and will continue to do so as long as it exists, it will continue to negatively hold the price back down, pull the price from getting to a higher level, a really high level, until this fraud is basically exposed. And what fraud am I talking about? Well, the commodities exchange. Since Bitcoin, when it was listed on the commodities exchange, it was the first ever asset to be listed where you could not receive delivery on the underlying commodity. Crazy, think about that. You cannot get delivery on your Bitcoins when you purchase a Bitcoin contract. Now, for those people who don't know what the Commodities Exchange is and what it's all about, and let me explain. The Commodities Exchange is a place where people who are not speculators, whether they're producers or consumers that want the end good, they do not want price fluctuations. They do not want that. They want prices to be fixed. They want prices to be set so they know how to react in the future, right? They know what they need to do and how much money they're going to get or how much they're going to pay for it at any point in time. So Commodities Exchange allows speculators to come in and speculate on price, right? And people who are buyers or people who are sellers of the commodity, they can avoid the ups and downs of the speculation by using futures, contracts such as, for example, let's just say you're a farmer and you need to have a fixed price for your corn that's going to be available in 6 months from now. So what you do is you write up a contract stating that you're going to receive corn, you're going to pay the person in corn at this specific time. It's like 6 months from now or whatever it is, and you're going to ship that to that person who owns the contract. And so so that contract goes on the Commodities Exchange, and somebody else buys that contract at that price, and then they might flip it to somebody higher or maybe even somebody lower because they just realize that, oh my God, there's going to be a bumper crop of corn, so the person who owns that is going to actually pay more when they get the shipment, right? They're going to have the corn price is going to drop to nothing. So that is how the Commodities Exchange works. And on the other side, of course, the person who wants to buy the corn and keep the corn, they know they will purchase the corn ahead of time on the futures market, knowing that they know how much they're going to pay for the corn right away. Now, this is why. Now, most people don't see this, right? How this happens because they're not part of this kind of market. And this is useful for those people who want fixed prices, right? For a long period of time. So McDonald's might buy a whole bunch of corn or other food products, beef, whatever, in the future, off of the futures market, so that they will take delivery on that and actually have a fixed price for your McDonald's burgers, potatoes, and fries, right? So, so there is a case, right? Remember, right? If you don't remember that oil went negative, remember that? Now, if you don't remember that, it was around April of 2020. It was very big. I highly doubt anyone forgot that. But oil went negative. And so how did oil go negative? Well, it's because you had this contract that was expiring and you had to take delivery, but there's no place to put the oil. And because of that, you wanted to get rid of the oil, of the contract, and you were wanting to pay somebody just to take it from you. That's why oil went negative. So those contracts, right, basically, you will have to get rid of them if they're about to expire and if you don't want to take delivery. Well, Bitcoin is the only commodity where you can never, ever, ever take delivery. You see how that can manipulate the price? Because now the people who want to speculate on the price and just don't care about the underlying asset, they just want to speculate. They have nothing to do with the price. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. They don't buy it, they don't hold it, they don't sell it, they don't take delivery, nothing. So, how is that supposed to be affecting the price? It doesn't, right? If it has nothing to do with the price of Bitcoin. A lot of money's going there, right? To speculate on Bitcoin. And should it have not existed, those same speculators would have came to the spot market and bought Bitcoin. You see where I'm going with this, right? Because they can spend unlimited amounts of money on speculating on contracts, unlimited, because it doesn't affect the price, right? It's only you who buy the Bitcoin, which gives you an advantage, right? means that eventually when this thing snaps, right, Bitcoin will go absolutely bananas. Because the truth will be revealed eventually. The system will collapse in and of itself, and then, you know, all the scams that Wall Street and the governments have done to keep the dollar value up and stable will be revealed. So, with that said, the next part of the manipulation is basically the ETF. The ETF allows retirement funds to buy into Bitcoin, because they can't buy commodity. You can't buy commodity on the commodities exchange. They can only buy ETFs, equities or ETFs. So now they can buy Bitcoin, because they've been starving to buy Bitcoin, watching all the price action, and they want to get in. They can't. Now they can buy Bitcoin, but they don't own Bitcoin, because those ETFs are just basically purchases from the commodities exchange contracts. That's not price Bitcoin, dude. That's only exposure to the price that's occurring with people who actually buy and hold Bitcoin. So you have a tremendous opportunity to buy Bitcoin on the cheap and hold it, so long as you take it off the exchanges and hold it, and you don't go with the next form of manipulating price. Now, if the government came to me and said, Da Vinci, we need to stop Bitcoin, I said, can't. Well, okay, we need to slow it down. How can we do that? Well, I can come up with solutions if you pay me enough. just kidding. I wouldn't have done that. But anyways, just to say, I was supposed to work for the government to come up with a solution. One of the solutions I'd say, well, simple, is you just allow people to lend their Bitcoins, right? And you let people also go highly leveraged on their Bitcoins, or leveraged 50% or 1/3 of their Bitcoins, right? And because you have this dynamic here, right, where you have somebody who can borrow Bitcoins and somebody who's lending, who's using his Bitcoin as to borrow against, right? And so maybe he's got 50%, maybe he got 1/3 or 1/4. Well, you have people lending their Bitcoin, and this guy wants to get the price down so he can, easily buy up the market, because you can't. If you're going to short the market, you're going to have to be able to buy it back, right? How are you going to buy it back without enough liquidity? Well, you have the liquidity at the point where people get liquidated because they borrowed against their Bitcoin. So you create the perverse incentive of the market to go after those liquidations with that. And so the people who are lending their Bitcoin, right, trying to earn interest on their Bitcoin, right, they are going to help to reduce the price. That's the way it is, right? Then of course, right? Of course, there's the people, who leave it on exchanges, right? And I'm sure somebody will figure out a way to borrow from those exchanges that they left it on, and in order to sell it into the market. So those are some of the incentives they probably provided. And they probably also provided backup contingencies, such as the Fed saying, hey, you know what? We got you back if you do this. I'll print some money and get you back. So wouldn't be surprised if that was the case. So yeah, that's how I believe they're manipulating the price of Bitcoin. And we see that with the collapse of Bitcoin in like $10,000 in a very short span of time, because I'm sure somebody borrowed a bunch of Bitcoin and then sold it in the market and got the price down. Because once we broke through that bottom channel, and you just had to push that envelope, right? Because it was breaking higher, right? It was breaking higher, and what he did was push that envelope. Just went, boop. Nope, you're not going up. No more up, and then boom. He broke it down, and that's it. That's all he needed to do. And the rest was history because everybody else did the rest for him, and by selling into that pressure, because hey, that was a clear, traders knew that was a clear signal to sell everything because we were going down with the ship, unfortunately. So with that said, that's how I see manipulation happening in the market, and I don't see it ever changing until the United States dollar collapses. And then we see all the manipulation that's clear. And then, but between now and then, right, we're still going to have more price swings where we have the bull market, bear market, bull market again every 4 years until the U.S. government collapses and the dollar collapses. Because that's coming. That's coming. It's not going to be the end of the world. Don't be scared. Don't be going, oh my God, you're a fearmonger. The world doesn't end just because, you know, the United States loses power. Okay? Lots of countries in the past have lost power, and the world didn't stop spinning, okay? And people didn't die. A whole bunch of people didn't die, right? Maybe unless they were a communist country, right? But it was always, you know, the world still was, everybody was still here, right? All your assets are still here, so don't worry about it. It's not the end of the world. It is just a new beginning of a monetary system. You just need to be on the right side of this trade when it does happen. And that's it. All right, well, thanks again for watching. Remember, right, to get your Bitcoin off the exchanges, because Bitcoin's real, Bitcoin's here to stay, and you need to be a part of it. Cheers.